Well, hello everybody and welcome back to another vlog. As you can see, I'm in a woodland again. I've only come out today, just briefly, to test out my new EOS RP that I bought. It arrived yesterday and this is the first chance I've had to actually take it out and take some photos. And I want to show you something a little bit interesting just here that I've found. I've been to this location before and I've photographed this tree behind me just here on several occasions. I like it purely and simply because of the way it sort of leads you further back into the woodland along this path here, and it just looks really good as a portrait orientation, but it also looks quite good as a landscape orientation because you get a wider angle of the woodland, which is quite nice. But I wanted to try this out with my EOS RP. This is the first image that I've taken, or these are the first images that I've taken with this new camera. And I have to say, from what I've seen so far, the autofocus system is absolutely immense on this thing. So I'm going to try and take a few more shots. I'm going to have a look around now and see if there's anything else that I can capture and move on and see what I get. So I walked along this brook behind me. I don't know how well you can see that. Just behind me there's a path with a brook that runs alongside the path, and I just fancied having a look along this brook to see if there was anything at all that was worth photographing. What I discovered, which was quite interesting, was there's a group of logs just placed across the brook itself, almost as if they're deliberately placed there to make a kind of pathway across the brook. But in between the logs that are lying in the brook there's a few stones, and there's like a very small cascade of water cascading over the stones. It's not very much, but it was the logs themselves that interested me, so I wanted to capture a shot of that. Once again, it's a focus stacked image, but what I found was there were a couple of people just sitting a few yards away and some others walking past, and I didn't really want to be talking to the camera live in front of people. I don't know why that is, because I don't mind recording something and letting you guys watch, but for some reason I just don't feel quite as comfortable recording in front of people like that. Anyway, I've taken that shot now. I hope you like it. I'm going to move on and see if I can find something else. So I kind of like this bench behind me. I don't know if you can see it just there. It's in the shadows at the moment, so it looks a little bit dark. But using the EOS RP, what I've managed to do is set the camera up to shoot an HDR version of that shot, and the camera will automatically take 3 shots, so it brackets the images for me automatically, and then also it will stack them together in camera, so I don't have to do any of that stacking those images together when I get back to the computer and try and put them into the editing software, which is good because it will ultimately save me time in the long run. But I was just interested to see how the HDR function on this camera worked, and it's quite interesting. There's lots of different possible techniques that you can use, so I think I'll be exploring that a little bit more in the future as well. I decided to take a seat on that bench just for a few moments while I talk to you a little bit more about the Canon EOS RP. I've discovered that it also has a focus bracketing mode on it, where when I would normally shoot a focus stacked image, I would shoot one image where I'm focused on one part of the image and then refocus and shoot the image again, and then again and again, several times, creating exactly the same frame but with a completely different focus point each time I take the image, and then I would stack those together using editing software at the end and create one image from several images. With the focus bracketing mode on the EOS RP, it's possible to do that all in camera. So what would happen is I would tell the camera where I want the focus to start, and finish and how many images I want it to capture, and it would just simply take the images for me and then stack them all together into one more image at the very end. So I've got all of the original files plus an already stacked image, so I don't need to then stack that image in Photoshop. I also want to tell you about another little interesting thing I've got. Do you remember those plastic Holga toy cameras that you could get? Well, I've got one of those myself, and I occasionally use it to take some shots using analog film, which is great fun. But what I've also got is this little bad boy. This is a Holga lens. It's purely and simply just a bit of plastic that would normally be on the front of that Holga camera, and what has happened is they've designed a lens from the Holga camera which has a Canon mount on it, so that you can actually mount it to a Canon camera. So I'm going to give that a little try as well in a moment and see what happens with that. In the meantime, I think I've just got one more composition that I want to try. I'm going to try and use that Holga lens there, but also I'm going to try and get a proper digital shot there as well. So I've got two copies of the same image just to be sure that I've got one that works. If you've enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again on another video very soon. Bye for now.